Many of these youths attribute the preference to work abroad to the high youth unemployment rate in the country, whose population consists of 80% youth. Catherine Nakato is just one of the many unlucky youths who opted to travel and work abroad but ended up regretting.
They brought me as a hairdresser. I'm now doing Shahala Iblis Zain Zaid. I'm tired. What do you want? I want to go back Africa, Uganda, Kampala.
She was advised by a friend to apply and go to work in Oman as a hairdresser, but ended up as a housemaid.
I went as a hairdresser. I reached Oman. They told me all your certificates for hairdressing aside, you're now a housemaid. I was shocked. I told Salima, what's this? Where is the saloon? She told me, you have to work. You entered in the airplane thinking that it's for your father or your mother. You are going to work.
Nakato's story, like many other stories of different girls, leaves many unanswered questions. Why do girls continue to go abroad and work as maids despite several warnings? Why do they fail to pick lessons from such stories? The head of the Skills Development Facility at Private Sector Foundation, Ruth Binzika, says that sometimes it's because the youth are desperate, which leaves them with no option but to go and work abroad.
I think for me the point is not about being better or being worse. I think for me it's about the circumstances. Where you have a youth who is, for example, even when he's not educated, and this youth is coming from, let's say, a wealthy family, or he's coming from a family where he has opportunity to learn for cultivation, where he has an opportunity for maybe getting capital, small capital to do a small business, then for me, you can stay in Uganda, and go into do agriculture. I've seen a number of youth who are making money from agriculture. I've seen a lot of youth that have used very small capital to start something small in their own way. So for me, I think that would not be an option. But there's also another scenario of a youth who typically has nothing. He's nothing. He has nothing. He has no capital. He has no skill. Really, he is at zero. And if an opportunity comes to you for you to go abroad and work, why not?
According to the Director of Labour, Employment and Occupational Safety, Martin Wandera, every citizen has a right to live and enter the country as they wish.
The Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to enter and leave Uganda without any let or hindrance. And therefore, it is really a matter of choice. There are Ugandans who have stayed here, worked hard, and have been very successful. There are those who have stayed in the country and have not been as successful as those who have gone abroad. But it's also true, there are those who have gone to work outside of the country and have returned with nothing to show. So it's really, a matter of choice. And if you want, a matter of luck.
Those lucky enough to travel abroad and land a job are also challenged by the poor management of the earned money.
When you go abroad to work, how do you use that money? Because if you go abroad and work, I've seen people go abroad, they save their money and come back and do something out of that money. All right? That is a good idea. That is a wise idea. But where there's a problem is going abroad. And then the money you make, you eat and part in that money. Or some of them, I always travel a lot. I've been to over 30 countries. And I always find Ugandans. You find two categories of Ugandans. You find Ugandans who are they are abroad, but still they are living beyond their means. The guy is working so hard, he's cleaning, he's washing a toilet, he's maybe looking after an old person, or he's a cab driver, or he's a security guard. But after making all the money, he's going to part in the money and eat all the money. So at the end of the day, even when he works for 3-4 years, he has nothing abroad, he has nothing home. If he comes back home, he starts from zero.
Binzika advises that one should save the money earned abroad and invest it in other money-generating ventures.
In some circumstances, you have, for example, someone who's working as a driver here. and he's getting $1 million shillings. And then you have another driver in Dubai who has 2 million shillings. I think people need to look at the cost-benefit analysis here, because if you're working in Dubai and you have 2 million, you're not with your family, the cost of living is high, practically you can't get everything for free. Here where you say, oh, if I don't have the money, I can easily go to the garden and and get some free food, or I can share with my friend, or I can sleep with my sister and save the cost of the rent. It might not be possible. And then also the other issue would be, if I'm earning $1 million in Uganda, I'm able to monitor where my money goes. Even if every month I'm saving 300,000, or I take a loan in a bank. I can take a loan in a bank if I have a stable salary, which maybe in Dubai you might not be able to get, and then I'm able to do a very, very small investment. Now the point for me here would be monitoring. Some of these people who stay abroad, they actually work so hard and they try to save the money, but they steal their money.
Ugandan workers abroad have increasingly been harassed and abused sexually, murdered, their body organs removed and sold, while others are forced into prostitution, drug trafficking, with their travel documents confiscated, ending up stranded. According to the anti-human trafficking report, every month over 20 Ugandans are stranded abroad, bringing the number to over 200 annually. They are seeking help to return home. However, numerous initiatives have been made by government to rescue them. Martin Wandera, the Director for Labour, Employment and Occupational Safety and Health, warns Ugandans who go to work abroad to always desist from criminal acts in the recipient countries.
All countries are governed by law. If you get into contact with the law on the wrong side abroad, the law follows its course. So if you are sentenced, the government of Uganda has nothing to do. And that's why I would like to advise citizens of this country who go out for business or work to make sure they keep within the confines of the law. Because if a Ugandan breaks the law abroad, why should you blame the government of Uganda for not assisting?
According to the World International Labour Organization report, there are currently 53 million people working abroad worldwide, and majority are women and girls employed in private homes as domestic workers. According to the 2011 employment policy in Uganda, domestic work employs 50% of women and is one of the lowest paying sectors in the country.
Look for opportunities here. Then if you must go abroad, then you must do enough due diligence, carry out sufficient background check about the company that is a prospective employer, and the reason is to guard against falling into hands of traffickers, because traffickers make a lot of money in this industry. And under the employment regulations, we license recruitment companies. So before one goes, I would like to advise that you check with the ministry to establish whether the company that is acting as an intermediary between the worker and the company abroad is a licensed company authorized to engage in the business of externalization.
I don't really think that there is any Ugandan who has a job here that would want to go and work abroad, especially for low-collar jobs, unless if it's a blue-collar job, because life is not that very, very easy.
Experts argue that exporting the youth to work as housemaids is not a lasting solution to the high unemployment rates in Uganda. Instead, the country should focus on redesigning the education system to make it more appealing, practical and technical to produce job creators than seekers. They say this could probably be a long-term plan, but it works.
Now, annually, Ugandans working abroad contribute about 3.5 trillion shillings, which has helped spark growth and development in the country. The only challenge left, however, is for the government to enter partnership and set rules and regulations to these countries where these people go to work so that they may fight for their rights. Denis Woniala, Urban TV.